This plant right here, this rose, is a hybrid of Rosa multiflora and Rosa rugosa. Rosa multiflora is the seed parent and Rosa rugosa was the pollen parent. If you look closely, if you have a sharp eye, you see that there's actually two plants here. There's the Rosa multiflora over here, it still hasn't bloomed, and this hybrid is right here. And both of these are huge plants, so the blooms, this guy, the hybrid stretches all the way till here, and the multiflora goes all the way till here, so like 2 meters or something diameter. So yeah, these are both enormous plants. So this hybrid, this plant specifically, is very significant to me in my rose journey. That's because I'd like to take you on a little story time, if you would indulge me. So it was 1 year ago, about 1 year ago, where I failed a chemistry course and I had to retake it in the summer. So I was here at the University of Western Ontario, and I would come out during my 10-minute break that the professor would give us, and I would look at this plant. And I tried to smell it, and it smelled like a rugosa plant. Not exactly like a rugosa, but very similar to rugosa. So I thought, okay, I've never seen this species before. It must be related to rugosa. So I wanted to identify it. So I go on the phylogenetic tree and I look on the ones that are the most related to Rosa rugosa, but none of them matched. Well, the flower was kind of similar because, well, a lot of roses have similar flowers, but the leaves didn't match. And so I was like, okay, if it's not related to Rosa rugosa, it must be some other species. So I looked at every single species in the genus Rosa, and I could not find this. So I was like, okay, I must be doing something wrong. And this was going on in the course of a couple of weeks. Eventually I kind of gave up, like, okay, maybe I'm not gonna find the answer or something like that. And then, but I would still come and check it out. And then this piece of information that was right in front of my eyes was right in front of my eyes that I didn't look at, was that there was this multiflora right here, right beside it. For some reason, it wasn't clicking that this is a hybrid. This multiflora has been here much longer. A fruit from this multiflora, such as these fruit, fell down and grew into a new plant. And it was this hybrid. And I'm like, well, it makes complete sense. There's a whole patch of rugosas about 250 meters that way, right behind University College. So I'm thinking a pollinator came from University College, or maybe a little bit farther than that, there's another one 400 meters down. One pollinated, or it was trying to eat some rugosas over there, and pollinated this multiflora right here. Seed fell, boom. Rugosa multiflora hybrid came out. And then when I realized that, I would smell it, and then I realized, okay, it's not exactly rugosa. It all kind of made sense that it has that like lipsticky type smell that comes from multiflora as well, mixed with the rugosa type smell. And the rugosa smell is a little bit more of like a creamy rose smell, like a pastry or a baked good type smell. It's kind of hard to describe. There's like some molecules there that I guess are unique to Rosa rugosa. And upon discovering this, I was ecstatic. I'm like, wait, that was some Sherlock Holmes thing right there. Like, you know, the simplest explanation is like the Sherlock Holmes thing that Commander Data would say. Once you've exhausted all other possibilities, whatever remains, however unlikely, is the truth. Well, the thing that remained here wasn't even unlikely at all. It was right there. The multiflora was right beside it. You know, it just, I had a mental block. I was like, okay, this is a new thing. I didn't expect it to be a hybrid. So I was ecstatic. I called my mom, and you know, the reason it's significant is because that's the moment I knew that roses, this is my calling. At the time I was redoing a chem class. I failed it. 1 year later, the next chem class, I failed it again. That's why I'm here. I failed chem again. And I'm out here stressing about how am I gonna pass chem. You know, so I could be mid-level doctor, you know, I could be just your average. Maybe I wouldn't even make it to be a doctor. Maybe I could just something like a researcher or something. I could be a normal guy, or I could be the greatest rosarian, rose breeder, who knows. So the discovery of this was very significant to me, and I called my mom right after and I told her, this is the path. This rose was the indication of my path. So, you know, that's my story, and I'm sure this path, this journey will get a lot more significant as it goes along, and I'm going to be documenting it through this YouTube channel. So one day when, you know, I'm much more successful, much more knowledgeable, people can come and watch this YouTube channel and see me as a, you know, foolish 20-year-old kid making, you know, with big dreams ahead of me. You know, y'all can see this and, you know, you can laugh, but I'm gonna be having the last laugh because I will be the greatest. I promise you, I will be the greatest in the world. And you know, it's not just rose breeding. It's not just farming to me. You know, this is science. Every scientist chooses one species that, well, not, they don't always choose one, but you know, they choose a species that they like to study, or a group of species. And for me, it's roses, because to me, they're not just flowers, they're plants. I like their leaves, I like their roots, I like their thorns, I like their smell, you know? Right now I'm studying a book. Well, it's not really a book, it's more of a reference material. It's called Encyclopedia of Rose Science. It cost a shit ton of money. Fuck it. I don't spare an expense when it comes to this type of thing. There is a barrier, I will overcome it. And now I'm reading the Encyclopedia of Rose Science. I'm learning things that aren't just farming. You know, it's like cell culture, ploidy levels, like genetics, you know, different like techniques that aren't necessarily economically viable. That's why these big companies don't use those methods. So I'm going to learn that, and right now I'm in the process of trying to find a way to do those techniques that I'm learning about in the book that are maybe a little dangerous because they involve acids, or they even involve molecules, things that I can't get my hands on, such as antibiotics. But I'm trying to find a way to do this. There's barriers here, and I'm trying to find a way around it. And I know that as this journey goes along, there will be more barriers along the way, but I promise you, every single barrier I will overcome to whatever I can do within my lifetime, and then I'll pass the torch to somebody else. But I will be the greatest, and you can count on that. So there, I said it, and it may be foolish and ignorant to say that at such a young age, but passion drives. Passion is the drive, not money. Okay? And all of this is thanks to this little hybrid right here. See you guys when I'm somebody.